Have you ever driven around with donations in your car for a few weeks, maybe a few months? I have been driving around with the electronics recycling bin that I'm going to take to Staples or Best Buy for weeks. So if you've ever done that, give this video a like and let's dig into the 2 steps of decluttering. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're sharing time with me. My name is Erica Lucas and I share videos about minimalism, decluttering, and organizing everything that's left. This week I want to introduce you guys to April at The Suitcase Designer. Her channel has similar content to what you watch on mine. So I thought you would enjoy meeting her, and she is doing the same for me this week with the folks that watch her channel, and it's a collaboration video. She shares a lot of content about turning the chaos of stuff into something more calm for people.
I am here to help my parents in their house. My mom has just retired. Before the pandemic hit, they were dealing with multiple deaths of loved ones, and then the pandemic hit and all of these things just compounded until it was just easier to ignore the problem rather than try to solve it. They're overwhelmed in their space now, and my goal is to change that and to make them feel in control of their space again.
She said she already feels lighter. She didn't say it in that many words, but I know what that sign meant.
So when you're done this video, hop over to April's channel and watch her latest video. The first step of decluttering, in my mind, is to make the decision. And that's a hard hurdle sometimes. There may be financial guilt, emotional guilt, sentimental guilt, the what if, the just in case. There's a lot of things that plague us. Shame sometimes in why do I have so much stuff, or why did I spend money on this, or why did I shop for this? You kind of beat yourself up for decisions, and then once you've made the decision and you're okay with it, not to oversimplify that step, the second step is to actually physically declutter it from your home, get it out of your house. And that also is a hurdle. For me, apparently it's electronics recycling drop-off. That's a hurdle for me right now this month. I gotta get it out of my car. Recently, I showed that messy in-between of those 2 steps of deciding to declutter and actually decluttering it out of your house. I showed the messy in-between for a few projects that we have going on. Our video games, books, clothes from an extreme declutter that I did, and electronics from an Unpack and Declutter, and then the Declutter with Us junk cabinet. Those 2 things fed into the electronics recycling bin. 4 things that we're decluttering out of our house right now, and I want to talk about those in this video because we've made the decision to declutter, and now we're physically getting them out of our house, which is it's a time-consuming step sometimes, especially if you need to research where you want it to go. Okay, so the first one, video games. I'm going to tackle that first because it's not done. My husband has sold and shipped 3 or 4 of the 7 that he decided to do that with.
I sold the Genesis, I sold the PlayStation 3, and I sold some games for the Dreamcast. I think the 3 games for the Dreamcast sold for about 40. The Genesis sold for, I think, 35, and the PlayStation was about 100. PlayStation 2 was about 100.
Cool.
It's also sold the PSP. The games, they were 6 of them for $13.
And so there's still a couple in my kitchen. I am allowing the physical space in my kitchen so that it is a constant reminder for him to take care of. And we set a time limit. We agreed that he would list it on eBay for 3, you get 3 listings on eBay for free. And he would list it the 3 times, which is about 3 weeks. And then if it didn't sell at the end of that time period, we would put it in the electronics recycling and take it over, and that we would get it out of the house. So we put a time limit on how long we decided it would hang out in our house before we made a different decision on how to declutter it. Books are done. Books are out of my house. We donated 179 books, and I don't know, made 6-7 trips, something like that. The kids helped me with it. Every time that we ran errands and I was able to swing by the library and do the book drop off, they have a big donation bin. I did it. And when I got home, I repacked the box and got it ready for the next trip. I made it easy on my future self to continually declutter that from my home. The last of the books. Very exciting. Help each other? Oh, you're gonna help him? Aw. Push hard. Woo! I'm really thankful and blessed for the opportunity to be a YouTuber and to share on this channel, and you guys spending time with me every week. And it brings me so much joy to do this. Honestly, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday, even on the weekends sometime, and I get up and I do this. I edit videos, I write blogs, I plan content for the video. I love doing this. It is a hobby that actually makes money for my family, and I've been unbelievably blessed with this opportunity. So I just want to say thank you for always tagging along with sponsorships with me. That said, the sponsor for this video is Skillshare. They're a learning platform. I enjoy lots of classes on Skillshare. I've taken classes on gardening, minimalism, decluttering, interior design. Right now, I am deeply in love with Lauren Weber's Planting Your Inspiration seasonal container gardening class. This class is densely packed with tips and planting care. She has a great smile, and I play her class when I am watering my garden or tending to my own garden, and I grab new tips from her every time I listen. Gardening is a major hobby for me, and there's always something new to learn. And that's why I'm sharing this deal for Skillshare with you today. The first 1,000 of my viewers to sign up using the link in my description are going to get 1 free month trial of Skillshare. And so if you're looking for some way to grow your own hobbies or learn about something that you've never learned about before, Skillshare is an awesome way to do it. They have thousands of classes and a lot of different types of classes and categories on the platform. So check the link below and grab yourself a free month of Skillshare using my link. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this segment in the video. I did an extreme declutter of my closet. I got rid of 60% of my stuff. We went to Planet Aid together in that video, and I dropped off the fabric that had stains, and they actually take those textiles and repurpose them. I did the Goodwill drop off. Finally taking this bag of clothes. Looks like somebody jabbed a pencil a couple dozen times into the sides. Anybody else have a sensory kid? La 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 la. I need some picture frames. Unfortunately, that box just ripped open when I put it up there. He said it was okay. And then I put 4 bags of clothes into the truck. And then I also shipped a bunch of stuff back to ThreadUp. 1 bag to ThreadUp was a return, and 1 bag was sent back. What I thought was consignment, I didn't choose consignment. I chose donation. I didn't realize I did that. So I can't tell you the value of all the stuff that was in that bag. I mistakenly chose donation instead of consignment when I sent it back. Is what it is. That's fine. The bag was received and marked for donation, and I saw it in the app, so I'm okay with that. All right, we're out at gymnastics today. I was going to do this as part of making the video, but I'm recognizing my boundaries and I am too tired for the day, so this is not going to happen. It's going to be driven around for more time. But it's all the electronics that Andy had chosen to declutter from his life when we did the Unpack and Declutter from the basement, and then again from his junk cabinet. So it's sitting in here, and then any video games he doesn't sell will also go in here if I haven't donated it already. If I have, we'll just make a second run. So when I shared the messy in-between of these 2 steps, what I wanted to address was a question that came up, like, can't you just load it all in your car and get it done? I sure can. It's just not my style. It's exhausting to do it that way. It is exhausting to carry 179 books from your home into your car, drive it over, and then unload 179 books. That's exhausting physically. Not interested. I don't mind doing it 1 box at a time, 1 day at a time. Slow and steady is my pace, and it's been my pace for 3 years. I certainly could ask my husband to load it up and do it, but I don't want to physically tax him or have him spend time doing something like that when he could be playing board games with the kids. That's the intentional living aspect that's come out of this journey to minimalism, that when I get his time, I like it spent doing things like that and not these little mini projects that I can tackle on my own by just errand stacking. When we're out running errands, I'm going to swing into the library, drop off another box of books. It's you know, one way to fight inflation with gas. It's also just my process. The physical act of putting those books in those bins completes the decluttering decision for me. So I just want to take a second and really highlight the power of one again. One box at a time, one drawer at a time, one category of clothes at a time. Maybe you have 50 t-shirts and you really don't want 50 t-shirts. Tackle that category. Doing one thing at a time often can get you going doing more than one thing at a time. If I waited for the motivation to declutter 179 books or organize and categorize all of our hundreds of books, the motivation to do a project like that would not come. If I do one category and one box at a time, the motivation to do that comes from the momentum, from the action of doing one thing and then another thing. And I'm creating momentum, and that momentum turns into motivation because I'm seeing progress, I'm feeling it physically, and that continues to carry me through a decluttering project. I do a lot of sharing on this channel of the first step of decluttering, deciding. I talk through my decisions with you guys. You guys comment that helps you, so I continue to do that. And I am always looking for ways to cultivate my house and live with a little bit less or find alternatives. It's become a daily practice for me and a lifestyle of living with less and choosing less and really enjoying what we've chosen to keep, and thinking about reverse decluttering or reverse minimalism, where you decide what you want to keep instead of deciding what you want to declutter, helped me. It was a game changer for me when I started this. And that was a quote from Francine J. in Joy of Less, where deciding what to keep is infinitely easier than deciding what to get rid of. And it's so true. And when I reversed my thinking and inverted the way that I was approaching all of this stuff, I changed my life. I changed everything about myself, my closet, my kids, my parenting, my relationship with my husband. Everything grew and improved as a result of that decision. But when it comes to decluttering, I've been able to compartmentalize it into those two steps. The first one is the decision, which I grapple with still now, and I try to share free resources on my website. I try to share videos that give you ideas and inspiration to carve out your own less. You don't have to be a minimalist to declutter. You don't have to declutter to become a minimalist. You can just find ways to pick what you want to keep and then evaluate everything that's left. What can you live without? What did you think you needed, but you really didn't? Addressing the things that bubble up from step one of deciding to declutter is difficult. It's hard. There's so many feelings: guilt, shame, fear, remorse, and then there's boundaries, time, money. There's so many things that come into play when you're deciding to let go of something. Sentimentality. Just lots of things bubble up. And when you finally get through processing all those emotions and you're ready to let go of something, physically removing it from your home is different. You've decided to let go, you have emotionally detached yourself from whatever you were hanging on to, and now you have to physically detach yourself from the item. And those are two independent steps, and I treat them separately, which is why sometimes things hang out in my house or my car for weeks. Thank you for watching, and here's another video.